statement that's just been released by them, that Home Affairs officials did mount yesterday what they call a routine lawful operation in Johannesburg, and found that a number of Kenyan nationals had entered South Africa on tourist visas, but were in fact engaging in paid-for work. It seems to be that what they were doing was that they were processing people who would be then determined by the United States to be refugees, and they would then be given access to the United States. You know, of course, that the US has claimed through lies, essentially, that some white South Africans have been victims of a genocide. You know, of course, the very strong view our government has taken to this. Well, Home Affairs now confirming that 7 Kenyan nationals were discovered working while being in possession of only a tourist visa. They've been arrested, issued with deportation visas, deportation orders. They won't be allowed back into South Africa for 5 years. However, the government also goes on to say, this is the Home Affairs Department now, the presence of foreign officials, I presume American officials, apparently coordinating with undocumented workers naturally raises serious questions about intent and diplomatic protocol. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please do me a huge favour and hit the like button and subscribe. These videos take quite a long time to make, so if you could help me out, I'll love you forever. Thank you all for your support. Now let's get back to this crazy story.
Now, this is the penultimate number, and it's number 2. At number 2, I present to you Kweku Afrique. Wow! This guy has a thunderous voice. Like, when he speaks, you wanna listen. I've been able to watch a couple of his videos, and I sincerely will tell you that he makes great impression in whatever content he's going to present. Thank you so much, Mr. Kweku. Keep up the good work.
On Tuesday, December 16, 2025, the South African immigration officials swooped down a processing center in Johannesburg. Now, this wasn't just a routine check. It was a move that has sparked a diplomatic war, a war between Pretoria and Washington in America, because the 7 Kenyans who were arrested were working for RSC Africa, a Kenyan-based NGO, at a center processing refugee applications for white Afrikaners moving to the United States. And now, everything is getting controversial.
The group appeared tired from the long journey.
If today's the first time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. So the story keeps getting tense and tense and tense, because South African immigration has gone to arrest 7 Kenyans who were visa processors for white Afrikaners who have been regarded as refugees in America. According to Donald Trump, those people have been trampled upon. They are being unalived and they are being kicked out of South Africa. And so Donald Trump has given them refugee status in America. In fact, quite a number of them have already been moved to America.
But all smiles on their arrival in the United States.
But still, there are a number of them left in South Africa, still being processed, with their documents still processed before they even moved to America. And so, these 7 Kenyans were there and they were part of those working with the organization. That's the job they've been doing. But the immigration are also arguing that they entered South Africa with a tourist visa instead of a work visa, because they are actually working. And so if you are working in a country, then you should enter the country with a work visa. You don't enter with a tourist visa and then end up working. And already there is a lot of chaos which has been unraveled.
Ago or last month, that there were 32 Kenyans who had applied to come to work in South Africa, and they were going to work with a organization. It's a Christian organization. Its headquarters is in the United States of America and also a branch in Nairobi. They were going to come here to help with processing of these Afrikaners who want to go to the United States of America. And therefore, when you look at what they were going to do, clearly it's not a scarce skills. And therefore, they were not allowed to come to South Africa to do that kind of work. That doesn't mean that the processing of Afrikaners who want to go to the United States of America is not happening. It has been happening. We saw when they left earlier on. And therefore, the question, this organization, when they realized that visas were not granted for these Kenyans to work here, and then these Kenyans applied pretending that they are coming to visit, they are coming for holidays, and therefore they came via Zimbabwe. From Zimbabwe, they went to Botswana and then South Africa. So you can see that their process of traveling, clearly they were up to something. And when they arrive here, they were supposed to be tourists who are supposed to return back to their country with no working permit or visa. And then they started working with this organization at some offices in Sandton, in Kelvin. It is not any of the American offices, either the Consul General or the embassy. It was a private office, and they were working there. And therefore, they were arrested because they violated the immigration laws of South Africa. You come into a country, you say you are visiting, all of a sudden you are working. And they were being paid by this Christian organization that is based in the United States of America. For the fact that they were being paid, it means they were employed. And then in a sting, they were arrested and they were sent back. No American official was arrested. Yes, there were 2 officials from the American office at that time. But after they did produce their passports to confirm that they are officials, they were not arrested. The problem is earlier there was a standoff when they were refusing to produce passports to confirm that they are working for the American office in South Africa. But there were no American official who was arrested. It is these 7 Kenyans who have since been deported. The 6 left at about 12:05 today, towards lunchtime, and the last one, the 7th one, will be leaving at 5:05 today, traveling back to Nairobi, Kenya.
America has described what is going on as persecution, but the South African government has also refuted the claims, calling them misinformation and an insult to their sovereignty. So the South African Ministry of Home Affairs stated that the Kenyans entered the country on tourist visas, what I just explained, which strictly prohibit working. And that was because the government of South Africa, or the Home Affairs, has previously denied the work permit applications of these 7 Kenyans who had wanted to enter South Africa with work permit. And that was the reason why they also chose the tourist visa route to enter South Africa. So essentially, what these Kenyans did were that they essentially bypassed legal channels to continue a program that South Africa finds it politically offensive. That is all the problem. That's what is happening, because countless occasions, South Africa have denied claims that white Afrikaners are being chased away, they are being persecuted, they are being unalived. And so they do not see why they should allow Kenyans to be in South Africa, processing, visas for these people to move to America as refugees. And so that has been, the central point where all the problem is emanating from. And so South Africa have gone ahead to take action. So authorities have banned the 7 Kenyans from the country for 5 years, and that is the laws of South Africa. If you are banned, violating your visa specification, you are going to be banned for 5 years. So this, guys have been banned 5 years from entering South Africa. Now, Home Affairs Minister Leon Schneider noted that they have already self-deported after signing the orders, and that there is nothing they can do about it. But the United States, now the US State Department, has also called the raid as unacceptable interference in their refugee operations. It's getting twisted. Now, the Kenyan government is also now caught in the middle of a dispute between 2 of its major partners. So, South Africa is a partner of Kenya and also a partner of the US, and so doesn't know where to belong. And they are now quiet. They haven't responded yet. But that is what is happening in South Africa now. Now, my take on the story. Now, this is what I think. This is my 2 piece on the story. So I think that this is a geopolitical chess where Kenya is the pawn and the US and South Africa are the players. South Africa is showing the world that even global superpowers like America should respect local laws. And that is what they are doing. Their local laws is that you need to have a work permit to work. You understand? And so if you come with a tourist visa, whether with the US or with whatever country, we are going to arrest you. That is essentially what South Africa is saying. That's the message they want to, send. And especially with the fact that South Africa had initially denied their work permits or their work visas. They denied them. So if you decide to enter with tourist visa, they're like, okay, allow them, tourists. You just allow, let them come. Let them come. You see how the chess is going. And that's why, they pounced on them and arrested them. Now, they're coming on a tourist visa is not a mistake. Actually, it is a calculated gamble by the US contracted NGO RSC Africa. It was a calculated gamble that South Africa wouldn't dare raid a US-linked facility. But they lost the gamble. You understand? They lost the gamble because they never envisaged that South Africa could get the balls to, raid a US, facility which is conducting, such an operation. But they lost the gamble because South Africans breached that and rather went and arrested them. So they lost the gamble. So these are 7 professionals who thought that they were on a legitimate US-backed mission. That was what they thought. These guys didn't know that what was happening. So these Kenyans have now, become a collateral damage. And now they face a 5-year ban in South Africa, which is a major African how? Because they were caught in the crossfire of a pissing contest between Pretoria and Washington. So these guys are a collateral damage. That's so sad for them though. So now, I've told you who is the collateral damage. What America is doing and what South Africa is doing. What is your take? Who do you support? Do you support the Americans, South Africans, or the Kenyans? Who is right? Leave your comment in the comment section. It's a wrap for today.